Hey you guys, got some Venus battle footage here, and I'm paired up with Alan now. You know, Shock and Awe had for quite some time quit, and so Alan was a guildie of mine. We get along, and he's been playing much more actively. You know, obviously cashing more. He has a tune. At this point in this video, actually might be a little bit higher BR than myself, and then because he's been away for a few weeks, I caught up and got ahead of him. Now he's back. So I had said in an Ares War video, I don't know where Alan is, but now he's back. So it was very nice seeing him playing again and everything. I think he was just busy. I think everybody sort of got busy, or in my case, deathly ill over the holidays. So yeah, it's good to see him back. And so hopefully I can have some footage in, you know, one of these PvP events. Maybe potentially have some Athena, Athena War footage. Now that Alan is on his own tune, I think it'll be a little bit more cohesive if I do an Athena War video. But for now, doing some Venus battle footage. I have 3 weeks of it, so I missed the first week, which was on New Year's Day. And I think a lot of people missed it because I'm seeing somebody as strong as Electric. So we're both starting out this event with 0 points, or else there's no way I would be paired up against her. Even if she started out with like 1 point, I wouldn't have been paired up against her. So yeah, so I think some of my opponents are quite strong at the beginning of this. Electric obviously at a huge disadvantage here because her spouse is considerably weaker than she is, and in particular a lot weaker than Alan or myself. But yeah, so she's just sort of getting dragged down by some of the problems I had with, you know, playing Shock before having quit for so long and not being a casher. So yeah, but that said, Electric a little bit more BR than myself, and PvPs quite well. So we usually have some really fun long fights. You know, I can win some of them, but I think overall she probably has a little bit of an edge. You know, maybe for every 2 fights I win, she'll win 3 or 4. And these guys are really tough. This is a nice fight. And so with Alan's tune, you know, with an archer, it's a really nice mix. You know, having 2 mages before, I had Shock's heals because she wasn't knighted yet, but with Alan, it's more just an offensive attack, and we just sort of rely on the Titans until we get into Sylph mode. Obviously, once you're in Sylph mode, we can use some shields and have heals and things, but yeah, so I like having an archer in the mix. You know, the archers crit so much and they hit so hard. It's very, very helpful. You know, I deal the magical attack, which is helpful against the physical attack classes. You know, against archers and knights, I definitely deal a good chunk of damage. But with mages, sometimes they're just really hard to take out for me because mages have so much MDef, and so having Alan's physical attack in the mix is super helpful and a much better pairing. That said, even, you know, I think a mage and knight makes a lot of sense as well, just because the knights have all those really helpful shields and things, and you could, you know, pop the Frigga on a mage and then have, you know, then a knight or a big knight with Odin or something still hitting hard, but have the shields in the class skills. So I think there are lots of different pairings that go well. Obviously for most people they're like, okay, is my spouse like somebody I get along with, and like do they play actively, are they strong or around my own BR, those types of things that usually don't think about class in the game as much, but that is something to sort of figure out. Anyway, so we're getting beaten up. I thought we might be able to manage it, but they're just hitting too hard, and they managed to beat us out. And I think there's 1 or 2 more fights in here that are pretty competitive, but otherwise I think I'm just going to leave it as a gameplay, do a little conclusion with you guys, and I'll continue to have little starting or maybe even full commentaries through the other Venus battle videos. You know, it definitely gets very, very competitive at a certain point because I start, you know, Alan and I start ranking quite high out of the, you know, out of the pool of players, and so our opponents get pretty rough. You know, it's pretty harsh out there. I wasn't necessarily ever like top dog, you know, the person who would win class wars or these events all the time, but now I'm like not even in the running, and so there's definitely some people who are just, it's rough. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you in the conclusion. Alright, so for sure these fights got a lot easier once those first couple of fights were over, and I think I'm just being paired up with people who showed up the first week but didn't necessarily do that well, and so anyway, the next weeks become a lot more competitive. Managed to get 914 points, which boosts me up, I think, into silver group. I think the iron group is probably cut off at 800. So that's pretty nice. You know, they help you out with the winning streaks if you're up against easier opponents, and you can sort of catch up a bit. So anyway, lots more videos to come. Thanks for watching, you guys. Take care, and have a very good day.